Welcome to Stoic Daily Stoicism, the place where we explore timeless wisdom and modern psychology to help men master themselves, relationships, and the art of attraction. Today's topic is one that stirs emotions, sparks debate, and often divides opinions. What really happens in a woman's mind when you stop contacting her? Most men assume silence means the end. They believe that if they stop texting, calling, or showing up, she'll simply forget them and move on. But that's not how attraction works. Human psychology, especially female psychology, doesn't function on a straight line. It thrives on patterns, disruption, and emotional tension. When you step back, you create an invisible ripple inside her thoughts. That ripple grows into uncertainty. And here's the paradox. Uncertainty is the fuel that keeps attraction alive. This video isn't about childish games, manipulation, or trying to trick someone into liking you. No, this is about understanding dynamics, seeing the truth of how human psychology responds to silence, and learning how to hold your frame like a man who respects himself. So if you've ever wondered why silence often has more impact than words, why absence sometimes creates more attraction than presence, and why women respond so strongly when you stop contacting them, stay tuned, because by the end of this breakdown, you'll understand not only what happens inside her mind, but also what you must do to handle it in a way that commands respect, deepens attraction, and keeps you in control of your own story. Let's dive in. 1. The shock of silence, why she notices immediately. Human beings live in rhythms. We wake up, check our phones, sip coffee, scroll, and fall into habits that give us a sense of stability. Relationships, even early flings or casual connections, create rhythms too. If you've been texting her daily, calling every evening, or sending her quick check-ins, she adapts to that flow, becomes background music in her life. She might not consciously appreciate it, but it's there now. Imagine this. A song she's used to hearing suddenly cuts off mid-verse. The silence is not just quiet, it's loud, pulls her attention. When you stop contacting her, that's exactly what happens. The silence doesn't whisper. It shouts. She notices because her brain is wired to detect changes in patterns. And while men often underestimate this, women are acutely tuned in to subtle shifts. At first, she may not admit it, not even to herself. She might shrug it off, act busy, or even tell herself it doesn't matter. But deep down, the absence registers. The rhythm she was leaning on is gone, and that shock creates the very first seed of curiosity. 2. How uncertainty fuels her curiosity. Here's the truth. Certainty is comforting, but uncertainty is magnetic. When you were always available, she had certainty. She didn't need to wonder about you. She knew you'd respond. She knew you'd call. She knew that if she wanted attention, all she had to do was snap her fingers. But when you go silent, certainty disappears. And when certainty disappears, curiosity kicks in. Now, curiosity isn't just wondering. It's active. It hijacks her thoughts, spins scenarios, and makes her replay conversations in her head. Did he lose interest? Did I say something wrong? Is he with someone else? Did I push too far? Her brain becomes a detective, filling in the blanks your silence created. And here's where the paradox lies. The less you explain, the more she imagines. This is why over-texting, over-explaining, or constantly reassuring kills attraction. Certainty might calm her nerves, but it doesn't keep her hooked. Uncertainty does. Think of it like scarcity. Diamonds are valuable, not just because they're beautiful, but because they're rare. When your attention becomes scarce, its value skyrockets. And whether she admits it or not, she starts craving the reassurance that she hasn't lost that. Access to you. 3. Why silence stings more than words. Here's something most men overlook. Silence cuts deeper than words. When you argue, text, paragraphs, or try to explain, she gets clarity. She might not like it, but she understands where you stand. Words give her an anchor. But silence leaves no anchor. No explanations, no closure, no defense. Just a void her mind can't fill. That's why silence is often more painful than criticism. It forces her to sit with her own thoughts, magnifies every insecurity she already had. And here's the kicker. The less you speak, the louder your absence becomes. She feels it in the moments where your attention used to show up. She notices it when she expects a message and finds nothing. Your silence becomes a shadow that follows her around. Not because you're doing anything, but because you're not. And that sting makes her think of you more, not less. 4. The ego shock of being ignored now. Let's talk about ego, because this is where things get interesting. Most women, especially attractive women, are accustomed to being noticed, validated, and pursued. Whether it's men online, coworkers, or even you, attention is part of their daily experience. So when you stop feeding that attention, it's not just your presence she misses. It's the ego hit. Suddenly, she's not the center of your world. Suddenly, she doesn't have the same control. Suddenly, she feels replaceable. That's an ego bruise she can't ignore. At first, she may play it cool. She might post on social media, pretend she doesn't care, or act as if she's unbothered. But inside, she's checking her phone. She's replaying your last conversations, wondering why you're different. Because your silence flipped the script. She's used to men chasing. You're not. And that contrast makes her ego stumble. 5. When attraction feels like a risk, here's the paradox most men miss. Attraction without risk is weak. When she feels she fully has you, she relaxes. There's no tension, no uncertainty, no challenge. And over time, that safety turns into complacency. But when your silence enters the picture, something shifts. Suddenly, being attracted to you feels risky. She starts thinking, if I lean in, what if he's moved on? If I chase, what if he doesn't want me anymore? That risk is uncomfortable, but it's also magnetic. Because humans value what they might lose more than what they already have. Your silence transforms attraction from a safe comfort into a valuable prize. And that shift forces her to reevaluate how much she truly values your presence. 6. The hidden test. Behind her distance, now here's a deeper layer that most men never see, sometimes. Her pulling away isn't rejection at all. It's a test. Women test not out of cruelty, but instinct. They want to know, can this man hold his frame when I pull back? Is he strong enough to lead? Or does he crumble the moment I withdraw? It's like a stress test for your confidence. If you panic, chase, or beg, she sees that her approval controls you. And when she feels she can destabilize you, respect drops instantly. But if you remain calm, grounded, and unfazed, you pass. You prove that you're not dependent on her energy for your value. And that makes you far more attractive than words ever could. 7. What men must do when she pulls away so? What's the right move when she grows distant? The answer is simple. Hold your frame. Don't blow up her phone. Don't beg for answers. Don't try to close the gap she created. Instead, match her energy. If she's quiet, you give space. If she pulls back, you don't chase. But silence alone isn't enough. You must also stay focused on your life. Keep training, working, improving, building. Live a life that's full with or without her. Because here's the truth. A man who is grounded in his purpose, who doesn't panic when a woman withdraws, is the man she respects, desires, and ultimately chooses when she comes back. And often, she will. You don't punish her. You don't roll out a red carpet either. You simply remain calm, steady, and composed, as if nothing happened. That quiet strength is rare. And rare is magnetic. Conclusion: the power of calm strength attraction isn't straightforward. It's layered, emotional, and deeply tied to how you hold yourself under pressure. When a woman pulls away, it's not always rejection. Sometimes it's fear. Sometimes it's her protecting her emotions. Sometimes it's a test. But your reaction determines everything. If you panic, chase, or lose yourself, You kill attraction. You remain calm, composed, and focused on your life. You fan the flames of desire without saying a word. Remember, silence isn't weakness. It's strength. It's not punishment. It's presence in absence. It's the reminder that you are not hers to control. You are a man with options, purpose, and discipline. And that's exactly what makes her attraction not just return, but grow stronger than before. So the next time she pulls away, don't react with fear. Respond with calm strength, because in the end, the man who doesn't crumble in silence is the man she respects, miss, and ultimately won't want to lose.